How to create success momentum, part 3. Awareness of micro-replica, micro-consciousness as macro-consciousness enables us to achieve success. In all fields of sciences, there is research and development. New inventions are taking place. It's very natural, therefore, that in the field of mental faculties and consciousness, there should be researches and some new discoveries and new possibilities could be explored. Hence, in the Indian philosophy, earlier, we were familiar with the 6 schools of thoughts, Shatadarshana. Later on, it became Dwadasa Darshana, 12 schools of thoughts. And now, we are thinking of more than 20 schools of thoughts in Indian philosophy. Naturally, the roots are there in the awareness of the consciousness, the basis remaining the same, but more sophistication can come in the understanding of the functioning of the mind and exploring the consciousness, the possibilities of exploring the consciousness expeditiously. Earlier, we have a story that some bhakta was told that as the number of leaves in a banyan tree, so many lives he will have to be reborn to realize the ultimate truth, to realize the Param Brahman, and he was happy. But it's not quite so. By understanding and analyzing our own minds, we can know where we are heading to. In this life and the next life hereafter, what will be our reincarnation, where we will go, what will happen in this life, in the next life, and when we will achieve ultimate salvation, moksha. From our own state of mind, we can analyze, just as from our own, a drop of blood, we can analyze the entire state of health. So, from our mind, we can analyze what is going to happen to ourselves in this very life and the next life, and how soon we'll attain moksha. Moksha means liberation from rebirth, the cycle of rebirth. So it's possible. Now we come across a term, manonasha. Mind is energy, is the faculty of consciousness. Mind cannot be destroyed. It means silence. When we are not disturbed by the ripples of the worries, we can say the mind is quiet. But it is not manas. It's impossible to destroy energy. Mind is energy, is the faculty of consciousness. The belief that there is the body first, then the mind inside, and the Atman inside the mind. Body first, then the mind, then Atman inside the mind. This is not true. Atman, the consciousness, is transcendental. Mind is the faculty of consciousness. And because of our sanskaras, we assume the Panchatattva body. So body is inside the mind. Mind is the faculty of consciousness. Mind is transcendental in the very nature of consciousness. As consciousness is transcendental, mind is transcendental. Mind is energy, direct energy. It cannot be destroyed. Manonasha is not possible. So we should not be carried away with what these terms say. Its meaning is the silence of the body, silence of the mind. We should experience the silence of the mind. We could experience the sound of the silence of mind. We could experience the sound of Om. Om is the Ekaksharam Brahma, Bija Mantra, seed. Just as we take a seed of a banyan tree, and the mighty banyan tree will emerge out of a small seed. So Om. Om is Ekaksharam Brahma, means it represents the universal power, the infinite power. Om is the Bija of the infinite power. So if you meditate on Om, just feel like Om. Not chanting again and again, Om, Om, Om. No, just one Om, and the feeling you remain there. That means you are experiencing the ultimate consciousness, the Param Brahma, the experience of Param Brahma. Then your mind is silent. It is said, Atma स्वयं प्रकट हो जाएगी जब आपका मन शांत है. Manas is the faculty of consciousness. If it is silent, naturally the consciousness is there. Consciousness can be experienced by silencing the mind. If the mind is not silent, if the mind is busy in thinking, in research, in development of new things, naturally it is the consciousness is at play. Consciousness with its faculty of the mind is at its play. It's at the conscious level, consciousness with this faculty of mind, at the conscious level, the subconscious level, supraconscious level, metaconscious level, it is functioning. So it is never possible that manonasha could happen. Manonasha is not possible. Mind is the faculty of consciousness. Energy cannot be destroyed. Consciousness cannot be destroyed. It is the silencing of the mind. There should be no worries on the mind. And ultimately, that's the inner meaning of manonasha, that there should be no worries, no rebels of worries, no other thought. Silencing the mind. Experience the silence, experiencing the silence. Experience the sound of silence, that is said to be Om. The sound of silence is said to be Om. To experience the silence, experience the sound of silence is the Om. Then there are various kinds of meditation techniques. Dhruva dhyana, you will come across in Bhagavad Gita, you will come across in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, various kinds of dhyana. Rishis and various devotees were doing dhyana. Dhruva dhyana, Prahlad dhyana, Nichiketa dhyana. Various kinds of dhyana we come across. We must, as a researcher, analyze what these kind of dhyanas are. It's not necessary for us to get addicted to one particular kind of dhyana. Those who said you just sit down quietly and observe the movement of thoughts in your mind and keep on observing for the whole day what is happening in your mind. They will continue to observe that mind faculty and get addicted to that process. And they say this is the final process. This is wrong. It will not lead to development faster. As a researcher, as a critical analyst, as a scientist, we must explore various kinds of possibilities inherent in different kind of dhyanas, meditations, the possibilities there. So the direct method of dhyana is on vibhutis, on consciousness direct, on energy direct. It is said, you see the face of the Lord, you see the feet of the Lord, concentrate on it, on the body of the Lord, on the face of the Lord, on the lips of the Lord, then the smile of the Lord. So that means you see the plant, a tree, and the flower. You meditate on the beauty of the flower. You meditate on the fragrance of the flower. Then you meditate on the energy of the flower. The energy flow that it manifests into the flower and blooms into the flower. So when you see a bird flying in the sky, you are seeing the feathers, you are seeing the bird. But see the consciousness energy flying there. If you see the human being, you see the consciousness, see the human beings, admire the beauty, but ultimately see the consciousness there, the play of the consciousness, the play of the mind. When we develop the habit of seeing a seed of a banyan tree and visualizing the big banyan tree emerging out of the seed, the play of the energy, then we will understand how to meditate properly. We should meditate on energy, on the consciousness inherent in every object, in the seed, in the matter that is the seed. Then is a little branch that creates a big tree if it is planted in the earth. So, in the process of meditation, we must ultimately meditate on energy field, in consciousness, and always knowing, being aware, the mind is the faculty of consciousness. If you are busy in studying in a subject, our mind is concentrated, is not disturbed, is not worried. To that kind of concentration is also a kind of meditation. And that is why we are able to discover new things and make new discoveries, new inventions, new researches, because mind is focused, dedicated to one activity, and it's the play of the consciousness through mind in the exploration of the universal possibilities of the knowledge from the metaconscious, that is the repository of all knowledge. That is how first the transcendental consciousness, then the faculty of consciousness is mind, and because of the sanskaras, condensed sanskaras, in the form of frequency, the desires fulfilled, unfulfilled, further desires that leads to the creation of a mind frequency, and a person assumes the next body, or in this body, in this life, he moves ahead because of these sanskaras, the desires, unfulfilled desires, lead us to a place We know where we are heading to in this life. We know we will be heading to in the next life. So ability to experience this silence, ability to understand that mind is the faculty of consciousness, and ability to understand that we ourselves are the micro-consciousness, the micro-replica of the macro-consciousness, all power, all knowledge, all presence. We are able to develop our faculties. And with that state of mind, the health will be vibrant, the mind will be free from all worries, the total movement of energy will change around, there will be an aura around us, the force of energy will change the circumstances of life, and all the difficult circumstances will change, the adverse circumstances will be pushed out, and a new positive energy will take over. Therefore, if we are able to concentrate, and we should be able to concentrate on the macro consciousness, understanding that we are the micro replica of the macro consciousness, we change the entire flow of energy, and our health becomes vibrant, mind becomes free from worries. Because no germ has the capacity to withstand the force of energy, the consciousness. It is impossible. Sickness cannot survive because we are thinking of brooding about the sickness only, thinking of the body, thinking of the matter. We are thinking of the mind and the worries only. That's why these worries survive. They get more energy. We think of worries, worries get more energy, so worries increase. We think of sickness, sickness gets more energy, so sickness increases. Wherever we give the energy, that expands. So sickness expands because we give energy to sickness, thinking about sickness. We give energy to worries, thinking about worries, so worries expand. If you start thinking of the consciousness, the power, the total power, the inherent power, the ultimate power, infinity, worries disappear, sickness disappears, all germs evaporate. We become a sound health, we have a sound mind. That leads to success consciousness.